everyone, and welcome back to the Wanderpreneur Show. This is Christy Candelario, your hostess.
Hi, man. Welcome to the Wanderless Wandermore Show with your host, Christy Candelario. A movement for life, for freedom in life. Watch ya. Wanderless, Wandermore. Expert advices for sure. Wanderless, Wandermore. Helping you become an entrepreneur. Wanderless, Wandermore. Travel around the world, let us go explore. Wanderless, Wandermore. Expert advices for sure. Come and be guided and supported by this podcast show. We give you enough insight just to help you grow. Special guest experts, business adventures about great lifestyles and so much more. Launching, transforming and leveling up businesses globally since 2012. Stay tuned and wanderless so you can wonder more. Yeah, man.
Now, today's show is all about tequila, professionalism, Mexico, and a little bit of my entrepreneurial confessions. So I bet you clicked on this because I said tequila and maybe professionalism in Mexico all on the same line. Like, who does that? Well, this is kind of going to be about like the story so you can really know who I am more. This is a story I've probably told a lot to my tribe, but I know there's a lot of people that have not heard this story. So first off, I'll just go ahead and tell you one of my big confessions, which I think is kind of funny. Not really a big confession, but I guess shocker to some people. And that's the fact that I don't like working. And when I don't like working, I don't. So typically, I don't spend that like a major amount of time working because I'm doing something else. I'm kind of been a really big procrastinator my whole life. And another thing is I'm always late. I mean, I was late to the day that I was supposed to be born. So then my birthday was on January 22nd instead. I was late to my wedding, like probably 10 minutes late. I'm pretty sure everyone was probably wondering where the heck was the bride? But really, I'm just late. I go to the beat of my own dream. I do go to the beat of my own dream, but I meant to say my own drum. And I just wanted to bring that up just because sometimes in life, and it's important to know the season of your businesses, and you know, sometimes you're just not meant to hustle all the time. And don't burn yourself out. Just do what you want to do and it will all work out. It's when we like fight against ourselves when things don't turn out the way they're supposed to be. So anyways, back to the topic about tequila in Mexico. And I don't even know where we should even start with this. I mean, I could start off by saying that this October, on October 10th, will be the first day of our Wanderpreneur retreat in Mexico. So if you want to come, then I dare you to come and meet me and my other amazing guest speakers and make new friends. It'll be fun. But anyways, Mexico. My first experience with Mexico was when I was 21. And, you know, this could sound like, oh, it's probably some cool drunk story or something like that. And, you know, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But the thing was, I was 2 years into my one business. And my now husband, we were just dating at the time, we went to Mexico together. And up until about that point, he was very unsupported with the business. He did not want me doing that because he didn't see how that was a real job. He didn't see I was going to make money doing that, even though I was making money. And, you know, things just, it was a little, I don't want to say rocky, but like he didn't really support the idea of entrepreneurship. And, you know, throughout that trip, he was kind of opened up his eyes and was like, wow, you're doing a lot, and this is what we could end up doing for like ever. We can be going on cool trips like this all the time. Okay, do what you want now. And then also on that trip, I ended up saying, I'm going to close down this business. I want to start a new business. So he had like just agreed to the fact that, oh my goodness, my business is great. And then here I am going, actually, I want to shut down this business and I'm going to try out this new business idea I have. And so this new business idea I had was actually being a business consultant and coach. So doing what I'm doing now, which I freaking love. But at the time, I didn't really see that there was that big of a market. Like I didn't I didn't visually see it. I knew that there was a market, but I couldn't visually get my hands on it because I didn't know where to go. And I didn't know that there was all these cool like Facebook communities and other cool communities throughout, cyber land. And I ended up building my own business plan, entering it in a business plan competition, winning third place. And I guess I should back up saying that during my first business, I was actually giving a lot of advice to other people that had businesses because I had built this business online and I'm an introvert. I know some people will roll their eyes at this if they've met me and be like, Christy, you're so not an introvert. But the thing is, I am. If I don't know you, then I don't want to reach out and talk to you. But if it's like my tribe or something, then I just love everybody. I mean, I love having people over to my house too. So I'm like an introvert, but I'll be an extrovert when I'm around people I love that I want them to know that I love them and I support them and stuff like that. So during all this, I was giving advice to different people during my first business, which was in the health and wellness industry. And I remember getting asked to go to Business Leadership Week and talk to a class. And after that class, that was like, completely full of students that really wanted to learn from me and they thought I was doing amazing at teaching them. I was invited to another class to give my presentation on this. And here's the thing, public speaking has never been something I love. Like, I was the girl in class that if the teacher was going to say that they're going to pick somebody, I would be like, please don't pick me, don't do it kind of thing. Like, I didn't want to be picked on. I didn't want the spotlight. But oh my goodness, when you're so passionate about something and you actually know what you're talking about, getting in front of a crowd that actually wants to hear from you is the best thing ever. I love public speaking now, as long as I'm talking about business. So I ended up doing all of that, and that was right before the trip when I had started getting asked and all that. And then we were on the trip. We went out on the catamaran and stuff like that. Brad's starting to like the business. And then by the time we get back, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. And then fast forward, I started my business on April Fool's Day in 2017. Not 2017. I'm looking at the date right now, the year. But in 2015, so April 1st, 2015, I started my business. That's when I walked into the but the courthouse, got my DBA, got my business bank account, which are two important things. So if you're in business right now, go do both of those things. DBA means you're a sole proprietor. And I did that and I felt so accomplished and I'm on top of the world. I can do this. I got this kind of attitude. And then it kind of all went to shit. I started my business. I was doing a lot of things, what I thought other people wanted me to be, what I thought other people wanted me to do, what I thought I needed to offer, what I thought my dream clients were, but they weren't really dream clients. I just thought that I just had to get any clients, even though in the past I was working with really good people too. So all of this happened and it was overwhelming. It was frustrating. It was kind of making me question, whether or not I was doing the right thing. I really wanted my business, but nothing at all was working. And I did not understand why. I thought maybe it was not meant to be, but at the same time, I knew it was meant to be. I knew that I was meant to help others with their businesses. I could feel it. I just didn't know how to get from this chaos, crazy thing going on where I felt like I had to hustle all the time. Everything I tried wasn't working. All my clients were nightmare clients. I dreaded getting on the phone to help them with their businesses. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't know what they wanted. It was the fact that I just didn't click. And I'd always pictured myself surrounded by a community that looked up to me as their leader, but I also loved them, that there was no looking up because we were on the same level, because there was no treating each other unequally. I didn't walk in and think that I was better than them kind of attitude. But it just didn't feel right. My clients and I were in a bad relationship. And even Brad, he was kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Maybe you should really focus on this job that you have working for your uncle's mortgage company. maybe that's the route you should do, or maybe you need to do something else because your business isn't working and there's no way that this is going to ever work. It's probably just going to put us into a large amount of debt, which, by the way, Christy, you're already the majority of our debt because you have student loans, you have this loan, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. And it was December 2015. And I mean, I was just really fed up at that point. And I like lost hope, like, okay, it's not working. I got a wedding to focus on because Brad and I were also engaged at that point. And the mortgage company was kind of like going crazy. I was the one that became the processor, and that was it. So I thought, at least. And when that happened, I didn't really feel like myself. And I'm not going to say I'm depressed because I know that's a serious thing, but I just felt lost. I felt like what I was doing was not what I was meant to do. I had just given up on the thing that I know I was meant to do. And it seemed like no matter what, like I couldn't be 100% happy. I couldn't just, be like, woohoo, I'm happy today kind of thing. And I've always been a happy person. And instead, I just kind of went around mindlessly, living my life kind of thing. And we got married, and it was an awesome wedding. It was beautiful. And then we left for our honeymoon, and we went back to Mexico because we love Mexico. And on our honeymoon, we went to like Cancun, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, Isla Mujeres. So we kind of went all over that side of Mexico in that area. And I don't really know what day it was, but of course I was drunk because of tequila, my new best friend at the time. And I remember just kind of having like this big sense of clarity come out of nowhere. And I looked at Brad and I said, Brad, I know what's missing in my business. And he's kind of like, Christy, we're on our honeymoon and you're bringing up your damn business? What is wrong with you kind of thing? And I looked at him and I said, don't you want to do this whenever we can and you don't have to worry about a boss or anything else holding you back, like money or, again, a boss? Because I hate control. That's another confession of mine. I am a control freak. Not necessarily, but I like to be the one in control of my life, and I do not take no for an answer if I want something. So having like a boss, that was like one of the big things. Like, it wasn't even the money part of it. It was the boss telling me when I had to work and when I could not go on a vacation. I did not like that restraint, and there's no way that was ever going to be the likelihood of my whole life, like the majority of people out there. And he's looking at me going, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Like, that would be really cool if you could do that. But he's like, I just don't know if this is feasible kind of thing, And I looked at him and I was like, I know what is missing. And he's kind of like, okay, well, what is it? Like your clients that are paying you, that's what you're missing. You're missing clients. Hello. Like, that's what you're missing. Hello. That's why we're not successful. You don't have money coming in kind of thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not me. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, you're crazy. And I remember telling him that my whole brand is off. My whole marketing thing is off. We just spent a whole year planning our wedding, and it was all about elegant travel theme. And like, I mean, my sister started making like map flowers out of road maps, which were super cool. And thank you so much, Kelly. And, the bridesmaids helped out with that too. So I'll give them a little bit of credit, but it was really majority of my sister. And that was part of our centerpieces. We had different places we love to go versus table numbers. So instead of being at table 4, you were at like Boston, Massachusetts or Isla Mujeres, like things like that, And we had the vintage suitcases, which, you learned on my last episode that I love vintage suitcases. And just a lot of other little pieces like that too. And I'm looking at him going, my whole brand is messed up. Like, I have sparkles on it. It's pink. It's pink again. Kind of, I mentioned that. And I'm not the kind of pink person. I mean, yeah, like I like blush pink, or my coral red suitcases that are totally coral. But other than that, I'm not really big. Like when I see something pink, I'm not like, oh my God, I gotta have it kind of thing. But my whole brand was like that. And I think that it had to do with I felt like I was too young to make myself look grown up online and established. So I was doing like this playful pink girl thing because at the time, I mean, I was only 20, 22. Yeah, I was only 22 when I started it. And so I thought that maybe I had to do that. Whereas that's not necessarily me. I mean, my childhood dream was to be a fairy godmother, but that's as girly girl as it's gonna really get for me. I mean, I like getting dressed up if we're going somewhere fancy, but other than that, I'd rather be in my workout clothes kind of thing. Or some kind of sundress that I would have a bikini on underneath kind of thing. And so we're there and he's kind of like, okay, so what do you want to do? And I'm telling him like, I have to redo my whole brand. Let's do a photo shoot here. And like Brad hates photos. So getting him to do a photo shoot is a really big deal. And so I remember us like going and talking and getting the resort photographer to do a photo shoot for us. And it was super fun. Like he was like jumping all over the place trying to take photos and putting the camera like between his legs, hanging on the side of a cliff. So if you go to our website and you see us like at the end of a cliff, the photographer's on the other cliff, like literally with like a foot hanging in the air off the cliff taking the photo. And I'm like, what are you doing? But hey, it turned out great and he's alive and safe, or at least from that photo shoot. I don't know about his other photo shoots. But super fun. And we got the whole travel theme photos done. And then I took some of the wedding photos about like the matte flowers and stuff and did some stuff like that and really started transforming my whole entire brand based off Brad and I. And if it didn't fill a line and it didn't fit me, I got rid of it like in a freaking heartbeat. And I kid you not, after rebranding my whole business, and I'm even talking about my course, online success roadmap, I even rebranded the whole thing and redid all the videos for that because I didn't like the way it looked because it had like butterflies and all kinds of stuff. And let's see, that was in June when I discovered that. And I also remember doing this whole video while we're kayaking off of Isla Mujeres, and I'm talking about different things, you know, like my name's Christy Candelario and I'm a business coach, and here I am on the blue island. Like I said some crazy stuff. Like you can really tell I'm drunk. If you want to see it, go look in the Wanderpreneur movement because it's in there. It's probably one of the first videos ever, but it's hilarious. I cracked up during it. I'm not going to release it to the rest of the world. So if you're not in the Wanderpreneur movement on Facebook, go join so you can spend time laughing your ass off. And so we get back, I rebrand it. 4th of July comes around. I talked to one of the coaches that I did not end up hiring, but I talked to her and it kind of like gave me a kick in the ass kind of thing, like get out there and do it. And I started working on it. By August, I had a client. And then September, I had 2 more. So at that time, I had 3. And then October came around and I was like, I'm going to host an online summit. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And so I just started putting that together. And in November, I launched my summit. And I should also mention that on the first Friday of November, which I think was November 4th, I walked into my uncle's office, which this had to be the hardest thing. Like I was pacing back and forth like all day long trying to see how I was going to do this, how I was going to tell him. I'm freaking out kind of thing. Like this is my uncle's company. I'm leaving. He thinks that I'm going to be here forever. I can't do this kind of thing, but I can't process loans. My head's not even here. It's all my clients. It's on everything else going on. And I walked in and I just like threw it up kind of thing. Like I can't be your processor. I can't be here. And oh my goodness. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to tell somebody. And at the time it only made sense because I couldn't stay. There was no way I could stay as a mortgage processor just because I wasn't mentally there. I was mentally living my passion. And that was some job that I was never really, like in line to get. I was only going to be there for maternity leave for about 3 months for someone. And I was there for like 2 years. So it was super hard to tell him, but I did. And we made it through that because I just made like $5,000 within the first 4 days of November. So I just knew I had to get out of there. And at the end of that month, we had the summit. And and every single day in my summit, I ended up doing some kind of presentation and lesson to teach everyone in the audience, because I had everyone else's audiences listening too. And I remember probably midway through or towards the end of it, I ended up coming up with this idea to have my own Wanderpreneur mastermind starting in January. So I kind of threw it out there. Like, I literally, in my slideshow or whatever, and then I go to a Word document where I have Wanderpreneur mastermind and like a few little bullet points about it. And I'm kind of talking about it going, I don't even know if people are going to listen this all the way through this, and we'll see what happens, kind of thing. And, what ended up happening was people actually saw that and they liked it. And some of those clients are in my mastermind now that I actually did start in January. And January was a $20,000 month. But we are going to talk about that in another episode. So that will just have to, make you want more to come back and listen. And I remember, like the whole journey, like it was huge. I mean, they say entrepreneurship is the most, like the biggest deal when it comes to personal development. Like, there's nothing else you can do that is going to enhance your personal development and your own self, worth and self-love and self-respect and self-knowledge. Like, anything that has to do with you, there's no better journey than entrepreneurship, because it is that in-depth. And, one of the biggest lessons I've learned over all of this goes back to professionalism, because throughout my whole journey, my first business started in 2012. So April 1st, 2012, I think. And from that date to this day, April 3rd, 2017, I would have to say professionalism is one thing that everyone always gets critiqued on. And I want to remind you that you are your own person. And if you're like me and you're the face of your business, there's no such thing as somebody else's professionalism when it comes to your business. It's all up to you. I've had clients in the past that are like, I'm going to the same place and I know my client lives there. Should I reach out and ask them if we should get together or not? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you really want to, so why would you not? And they're like, well, I don't know if that's professional or not. And it's, like, we're not working for a corporation. We're not wearing the big suits and ties and pencil skirts and, walking around with a briefcase. I mean, don't get me wrong. I travel with my laptop in a bag, but like, we are not that generation. We are the generation of building friendships, making relationships, trusting others, actually knowing the person or the company that we're purchasing from. I mean, that's what I see. And I don't want you to feel like you have to, be a turtle and kind of just go in your shell and not tell everyone what's going on unless you want to. I mean, you're the face of your business. And there's been a lot of things that I've said in the past where I've had family members or other people comment saying, that's not professional, or don't tell that part of your story because that's an embarrassment for you. Like, you should be ashamed that you're sharing that. You should only talk about the good things. And like, the thing that I have to say about that is screw it. Like, I'm me. And if I tell my people every single thing about me, the good, bad, the ugly, and the really freaking awesome stuff, then they're going to know I'm real. And that's part of my brand, because I want to be real. I want to be real to each and every one of you and everyone I haven't met, like every single person out there. I want to be straightforward and honest. Of course, give it with love, even if it may hurt sometimes. And that's okay, because if the love hurts coming to you, it's not something saying that you can't do your dream. It's just saying, let's tweak it some, because part of it's not feasible. But the deal is, I want you to be yourself. I don't care what story is in you. If you feel like you have to tell that story, then just unleash it, because there's somebody out there that's going to resonate. I've talked about my story with my learning disability. I've talked about the IRS before. I've talked about my parents' divorce. And, you know, honestly, I love both of my parents. So if they're listening to this, I love you both. But, you know, like all of my stories in the past, they've all resonated with somebody. And like the crazier thing is, each one of my dream clients has a part of my story. And if I didn't share parts of my story, or, you know, like want dream clients that were like me, that felt like me, that needed to know that they didn't have to hustle, that they didn't have to hide, that they could do this, and then I show them how to do it, then they probably wouldn't be in my life if I didn't open up and share what it was that was on my mind. If I didn't, you know, I mean, like, here's how different I am. I had a retreat for my clients, and, you know, other people will be like, rent a car, get a taxi kind of thing. And there was only 3 of them coming out of the 6 in the mastermind. And I ended up driving to the airport, picking them up, and doing like every little thing that I possibly could just to show them that I do love them, I respect them, and that we are equal. Because I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. Like that's what I've always said. Like that's what I've always said to my sister and brother too. And, you know, I don't want to be that professional, stereotypical kind of person. I want to be myself. And I want you to be yourself too, even if that means you have to go get clear on your dreams by going and getting drunk in Mexico in October. But don't get drunk while we're in class, because we have a lot of value to give you. So I'm going to get out of here. Again, the Wanderpreneur retreat is in October. Prices and more details are coming soon. You don't want to miss out. If you're not in the Wanderpreneur movement, I hope to see you requesting to join us soon. Again, that's on Facebook, so just search in the tab the Wanderpreneur movement and you will find us. And on top of that, we also have the Wanderpreneur tribe, which is like a membership, but it's way more better. Okay, because a normal membership, you like pay monthly and you kind of get like these fluffy videos. And by fluff, I mean bogus, like bullshit, you know, like not deep. And what I ended up doing was I got sick of it. I got fed up with it. And I went on my whole little rant in the group about it, in the Wanderpreneur movement, about the tribe. And so the tribe is where you get this whole online portal with all kinds of different trainings. And you also get group calls where I'm on there helping to coach you. You get to meet new friends in it. And you also get a discount when you get to come to Mexico this October. And of course, we're going to the island that made me realize I wanted to quit business too. And also the island that made me realize that my brand was fucked up and I needed to change it. So who knows what's going to happen this October for you or me, but it's always more clarity on your truth for what's to come. And I really think that island is good luck. I think it's like the goddess of love down there. So I don't know if that resonates with you or not. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here. And next, or I guess tomorrow, not next week. What am I kidding? You get to get the next episode tomorrow. And it's with Jen Morgan. I love her. We're talking all about the energies and awareness. And it's super freaking cool. So if you want to get, you know, like spiritual and really understand some really cool stuff, then you got to join me and Jen. And I just got to say, Jen's going to Mexico. And I hope to see you there and meet Jen and I both in person. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I've been saying I'm going to get out of here for a while now. So talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.